Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to my channel, and today we have another review. We have a long-term review of the Seiko 5 GMT. Does it still worth it? Does it worth it to buy if you haven't bought it? What are my impressions about this watch? And now the first impression you gotta have is, wait a minute, that is not the original bracelet of that watch, and you're totally correct. I swapped the bracelet, and you might be thinking, wait a minute, why to do a review of a watch where it's not as it comes originally? Well, first, because I would review the watches as I see it, as I wear it, okay? And for me, this is a must upgrade on this watch, okay? Also, there are plenty of reviews of this watch as it comes originally with the stock bracelet, so there's no reason for me to do another review, one more review of that, okay? So this is a review of the watch the way I see it. I'm gonna leave the link for buying this watch in the description. I'm gonna link the bracelet on the description as well, and also I also changed the clasp on this watch. I updated it for a San Martin class, and the reason for that is that because now I can do on the fly adjustments really easily, okay? So you can see I can do that, and so in order to do that, I had to replace the bracelet so it fits this clasp. So I believe is a must. Although the original bracelet is comfortable, it has already solid female end links. This one has male end links. I think this is a slightly better quality, and again, what was a must for me was the on the fly adjustments for the clasp, okay? Clasp is of course a great quality. So before we start the review, if you're wondering, I'm reviewing and I'm wearing the Chronos Pepsi homage that I already reviewed on the channel if you want to check that out. By the way, this guy has the same exact movement of this Seiko 5, okay? So the very first impression that I got when I first bought this watch was, of course, a good impression. Although this watch by the time was considerably higher price, was considerably more expensive than all of the watches I've bought that time, okay? So my first impressions of that were good about the watch passed, I started to not feeling that great about this watch because I was expecting some more. As a newbie on the watch collecting journey, I was expecting, which is a very common error, that when you spend more on a watch, you will have a better enjoyment of the watch, and that is not something that I had with this watch, and that is something that I didn't like, okay? It was, again, my first time when that happened to me, and now that I am further on that journey, I am more experienced on the journey of collecting watches. I know that that is not something that has to be, that when you're spending more on a watch, you're going to enjoy that watch the more. That is not something that happens, okay? It's not a direct relation there. So this guy taught me that lesson for a couple of reasons, okay? But I'm gonna go into that in a minute. So again, I changed the bracelet. I believe this is a must, but let's let that aside for a minute. The watch, probably, I don't want to spend too much time reviewing the watch. You already know that probably this has a 42.5 size case. There's plenty reviews of this watch already. I want to focus more on if this guy worth it still. Again, let's take a quick look to the back of the case. It's open, as well as all of the other Seiko 5 cases. It's pretty much the same case. The difference with the Seiko 5 diver series is that this one has the magnifying glass, which is a really nice touch that I like. Some people don't like it, but anyway. So I also have this watch on its diver version, that is pretty much half of the price. Okay, so this is around 400. I believe the MSRP on this one is 500, but you can find it around 420, 450. Even if you catch a good deal, you can find it below the 400s. Whereas the diver version, it's around, I don't know, 200, 225, 250. So it's considerably cheaper. And yes, I understand this one has GMT complication, and they give you a little bit more, just a little bit more on the bracelet. It comes with a jewelry bracelet. The only thing different that this bracelet has in comparison with the diver, apart from the style, of course, the diver comes with a oyster style, this comes with a jubilee style, is that this version comes with an N-link bracelet, so it's slightly better quality, but it's not enough other than the complication. When you have guys like this, for example, that cost half of this with the same movement, you know. Yes, of course, this would count as an in-house movement. It's Seiko. It's a better heritage brand, very more reputable brand. Okay, but something that I didn't like is that this watch for me performs around 5 to 10 seconds faster per day. Okay, the movement runs faster in between 5 to 10 seconds a day, which is a lot. I mean, it's okay for the price, but this watch is wearing the exact same movement and it's performing in between 0 to 3 seconds faster a day. Okay, so this one is almost double, and this is something I didn't understand why, because it's supposed to be the original Seiko movement. It's coming from their factories. How is that they're not adjusted tolerances the way it should be? How is that a Chinese brand that is using their movement, it's getting better results with same movement? That is something I don't like. And this is not the only one. As you can see, there's another review on the channel for the Heim Dollar two-door Pepsi homage that has the same movement than this guy, the Seiko NH34, and it performs as well better, even better than this one. That one is around 1 second to +1 to -2 seconds a day, which is better than this one, better than this one. Okay, this is the worst, and this is the original factory of the movement. I mean, Seiko is the one who is making those movements. But that's the part. I'm gonna wear this guy again. I have a 6¼ inch wrist, which is considered small for some people, but Seiko has something that they just work. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the things I like now. I'm gonna adjust this real quick on the fly. You can see why I have created the bracelet with that. Things that I love of this watch. First, it's that even though I just talked about Seiko not regulating the way they should these movements, they just make things work and work nicely. Okay, yes, it's not the best performing watch, but it's still great for the price. Yes, it doesn't has a screw down crown, which a lot of people, for some reason, I don't know, they prefer. In this case, it just works and works way better. For example, you can wind this watch on the push down position, which is the position the crown would have the most time, without having to pull down the crown. This is great for me. This is way practical. This is way better, and it just works nicely. You can wind the watch in its original position, and then you can click 1 for changing the date or operating the GMT hand, or 2 to stop the second hand and adjusting the hour. Okay, so this just works phenomenally. Okay, and that's for me something that is very important when you are buying a watch, especially if you are having a watch to, you know, have a only watch. That is something that I really like. They just make things work. It's for me, it's some sort of comparison with Apple's, okay, with Apple devices. These are probably not the best earphones, AirPods, or earplugs, but they just work perfectly. They just work. They just connect seamlessly with your iPhone. They just work very nice. Yes, the noise cancellation is not the best, but they just work very nice. Same with pretty much every other product. For example, the iPhone itself. It's like not probably the best quality camera, probably not the best screen display, probably not the best battery life, but every single of these components I just named are good, are reliable, and are between the top of the market, and they're very usable. Same with this guy right here. Probably not the best movement performance, but it's great. Yes, it doesn't have a screw down crown, which probably won't let you dive until 200 meters deep, but come on guys, you still can dive until 100 meters deep, which is way beyond 99% of you are gonna dive, and this guy would be good, and still you would have a open case back. This is not the prettiest movement in the world, but you have it. You have easy system to operate the movement, either winding it, changing the hour, changing the date, really easy. So yes, you don't have the best bezel action, but this is operable and is functional the way it should. It's really tight, so you have a applied force in order to move this guy. So it's not like a lot of people saying that this not having a clicking bezel, it's gonna be a problem because the bezel it's gonna rotate without you knowing. Never that had happened to me. Okay, so again, the watch, it's beautiful. Do I think it's worth it? Okay, here we go. Yes, I do think it's worth it, but do not let be caught by the hype. Okay, I believe there's a lot of hype on this watch, and I feel like I was a bit trapped by the hype. Okay, a lot of people saying this is a phenomenal watch, a lot of people buying it, a lot of people doing reviews, a lot of people doing, and yes, once that happened, once that passed, there's still a great watch. Yes, it does still a great watch. It's a very nice looking watch. As you can see, I really like that touch, that when the light hits from a certain angle, the color contrast is higher. That is something I really like. And when you see it this way, it's like either you don't know if it's a just black watch or if it's a deep blue watch. It's, for me, it's a beautiful watch, especially when you do the upgrade to the clasp and bracelet. It's phenomenal. For me, yes, it does still worth it, but don't be caught by the hype. Okay, I slightly prefer the diver version of this Still. I don't know why. Probably because it's a less busy dial on the diver version. Actually, I got it right here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show it to you. On the diver version, you don't have that much a busy dial. Okay, it's like a more simple dial. Even for the numbers, you have an aluminum bezel. I'm gonna do a review of this guy next. And that glossy dial is something I'm not a big fan of. I really kind of like the less flashy bezel in more matte. Well, I actually prefer the dial on this one. I believe even though it's a some sort of some blur, I don't know how they call it, but that type of gradient on the blue, it's phenomenal, I believe. So I prefer this dial, but I really like the aluminum type of bezel, that type of made bezel. It's less shiny, okay, and I think it's better. And also like the numbers on the diverse version better than this one, okay, because it's more simple, more subtle, less busy, okay, but still a great watch. I mean, it's obviously gonna be a matter of tastes. But yeah, that's pretty much my intake on this guy right here. I slightly prefer this one. I don't know why, even though it's cheaper than this one. But still a great watch. Something I was gonna show you is the Lume again. The Lume on Seiko is phenomenal. There's nothing like it. I'm gonna try to put this directly on the light for a couple of seconds for you to see. This is phenomenal. The Lumes on Seiko is something, if you're worried about the Lume, I know there's a lot of people, you can see there, that already had the color. We are not even turned off the lights. Check that out. It's amazing. The Lume on Seikos, let me put this on to charge. Well, you can see the difference there. Let me put this in charge for a couple of seconds. The Lume on Seikos, again, it's just phenomenal. For some people, the Lume is not that important on a watch. For me, I kind of like it, especially when I'm gonna be in a dark environment. I like to have my watch to be able to read the time still. And the last thing of this guy right here has just no rival, especially and on this one as well. The Lume, look, you can see there, even though I don't put the face directly to the light, it still's shining way better. And you can see it right there. It's not because this side is it's more lighted than this one. Just change the light. You can see, can put this thing here in the more lit side of the room, and you can see there's still a huge difference. So the Lume on that is just not comparable with any other brand. Even though you want to compare that with Swiss brands, higher tiers, believe me, you're not going to find something better than this. You probably will, but there are gonna be just a handful of cases, okay? So again, guys, this was my review of this watch. Do I like it? Yes, I do love it still. I believe it wears nice for most of wrist, which is a really nice touch. I was not expecting this to wear okay for my 6.25 inch wrist, and you can see it works okay, especially if you take the view from a certain distance. The watch tends to look smaller, even though we're close. I believe is not that big deal. One thing that is this watch is really thick, as well as this one. So the Seiko 5 series is a thick series, probably because of the movement, probably because of I believe the bezel has a lot of role in this regard. Probably, I don't know, if you change this to a thinner bezel, to I believe it's called a tile or something like that, where the bezel is not flat on top but is slightly just like this one, that is slightly tilt, you probably might achieve a smaller a better thickness. You can compare there that the thickness is really tall, okay? But again, it's a bulky watch, it's a sport watch, and if you're okay with that, there shouldn't be any issues with that, okay? It's just what it is. It's a thick watch, and I'm okay with that. It's not the end of the world either. But yeah, I think I'm falling in love again with this thing while I do the review, guys. Really nice watch. Well, that's been it, guys. Let me know your commentaries in the section below, and don't forget to subscribe if you like this type of content. And again, apologize for any mistake. I'm trying to do better and better the more reviews I do on the channel, but really appreciate you guys viewing it, okay? See you guys on the next one.